think part of the reason that I'm so depressed is because I know that part of this journey is going to be continued isolation and continuing to grind and continuing to, even if I work with people, continuing to do things that separate me from you, right? Like it's us versus them, right? It's me versus my competitors, right? It's like I'm competing for time on YouTube against other people, that want time on YouTube so that they get paid for ads, and it's them versus me, and it's me versus them. And I don't want that mentality anymore. Like I want, I'm gonna change my YouTube name to the story of us, kind of inspired by the entire History of You episode by Black Mirror. It's one of my favorite episodes. And I want to start talking more in we instead of them. I want to start talking in terms of we and our, because I don't want to win unless we all win. And I don't mean that in any sort of cheesy, sappy way or like, oh, I'm trying to suck up to everybody or like I'm trying to build alliances so that I don't get left at the bottom. But I'm speaking from personal experience, knowing what it's like to be forgotten, knowing what it's like to be overlooked, knowing what it's like to be misunderstood, you know, and I just don't want to be a part of that anymore. And I know when I say I that there are so many people that feel the exact same way. So it's really a we. And I don't want to say things like you need to do this or you just have to like level up in this way or whatever. It's what we're doing. And I think that if I use that language and I continue to shape kind of the story that we're building, we will get to a point where it's no longer going to be an us versus them mentality. It's no longer going to be, we're competing against each other for time on YouTube, or we're competing against each other for money in our bank accounts, right? We're competing against each other for jobs and things like that. Once it becomes us, once it becomes the story of us, and once it becomes us, not versus them, but just us, us existing. Knowledge will no longer be hidden behind bars of paywalls and, you know, people will share things freely and will be open with each other, you know, and that's what we need. We can't go on any longer. It's kind of hard to adjust to. We can't go on any longer in this sort of competition phase of just, constant barraging of, oh, it's me versus that person, or, you know, a competitor bought me out, or a competitor got the same product I sold and started selling it for cheaper. Like I was just watching a video that happened to somebody for their business, and it can't be like, oh, like I just want to live a life where I can like, this is from the same video. I just want to live a life where I can like, travel the world and dive in lakes and, you know, and swim in the ocean and, see the sunrise and live in a nice house. And I don't see any fun in that without everyone, you know. I realized that I think I realized part of it in law school when I started hearing, like, for example, this one job that I was thinking of applying to where the owner of the firm was pulling in like $10 million a year. I really sat down and thought about that. Like, he was making $10 million a year. He had a private jet, and he was doing what you could argue was good work. I mean, it was like putting aside for personal injury. And I went back to my room and I was talking to my ex on FaceTime about it. I miss her. And I wish I kind of like stayed connected on like FaceTime. I've like blocked my phone off from all contact. It's like text message only, and like I'm not FaceTiming, but it's a story for another day. And I told her, I was like, I realized that I'm not in this for the money. Like no matter how much money is in my bank account, unless I have good relationships with people, unless I'm truly happy, and that means I'm around the people that I love, right? I'm around, my ex, or, a girlfriend or a boyfriend or a partner, a family, friends, community. Like, these are the things that matter to me, right? It's the people. The people matter so much. It's the community I care about. And you can have 10 million, $100 million in your bank account a year. Like, what good is that if you're just gonna sit in a car alone, sit in a really expensive car alone, or just with one person or two people? Like, I even think like, oh, like, you can have all that money and then you could have like a nice big family, but if I win and say I get some financial freedom and everybody else around me is still stuck working a job all day, it's like, where's the fun in that? I want all of my friends and all of my community to be able to retire early, or not have to constantly work a 9 to 5 or other jobs so that they can sustain themselves. It's about us making it. So I think that these videos will also naturally gravitate toward the people that it's meant for. And when I say we, it should slowly resonate and the algorithm will pick it up. I don't also want it to mean it in like any condescending way. And I know people probably won't even see this video live. They like just watch future videos, but it's just a note to self and a note to, the few people that are watching at this point in my journey, that I want to speak more in we. I want us to live in a world where, you know, we're not competing against each other. We're not buying each other out. We're not slaving each other out. You're not selling your family off and all that stuff. Because when we all view ourselves as one, then we all automatically look out for each other because we look out for ourselves, right? And arguably there might be, you may not have anybody, but people that have someone in their life or multiple people in life where they're like, they view them as like an extension of themselves. And, they would want to make sure that they do anything for them and that, they're happy too. It's kind of like that, where it's like if we all see ourselves as one together, I don't want to see somebody doing something, that they don't want to do, or I would hate to see them doing, or you know what I'm saying? Like, it's the story of us. It's the story of us. So I think I'll leave it there. Really appreciate you all for watching my videos and following my journey. Thanks for the likes. I really appreciate that in the comments. It lets me know, it lets us know, lets us know that the work that we're doing is resonating, and we're getting somewhere where we won't have to worry about, oh, one day one day we'll live in a really nice mansion, and we'll have a farm, we'll have a self-sustainable community, and we'll have land that we won't have to worry about paying a government for. And, we'll have all the knowledge of building ships to building cars and building new technology and building new energy sources and not relying on oil and not relying on systems that continue to destroy us like capitalism. We'll finally make it, and we'll finally be free. So I'm thankful for all of us. Thank us. Thank us. Bye.